Today, we're installing some Clubsport S parts. So what do we have here? We have Clubsport S lower control arms, or rather we have Golf lower control arms fitted with Clubsport S lower control arm bushes, because that is literally the only difference. It is just the bushes. You can see here, this is your standard bush, and you can see there's quite a large void in the bush on either side, which makes them not that tight. But on the Clubsport S bush, there's still voids on either side, but they're a lot smaller. It's like a slit close to the metal, but there's not much of a gap there. You can see there's a much bigger gap on the side of this. There's way more rubber in the Clubsport S bush. So those have been pressed in to the lower control arms, so we're going to try and throw those in today. We've got a special tool which the workshop manual says we need. And then what do we have over here? Let's take a look. Right, let's have a look. That's not going on today. We'll see that sometime in the future. Same with that. This is going on. And so is this. So let's open this up. What we have here is a Clubsport S wheel bearing housing. This only comes on the Clubsport S and provides extra camber. So I've got a pair of these to go on. I do have the matching wheel bearings, although to be honest I didn't actually need to buy them. I could have just used the ones that are there. There's no difference between these and the one that's on the regular GTI, so a bit of wasted money there. But I guess there's nothing wrong with throwing on new bearings and having spares. So that's what's going on. Well, I'm going to attempt to put those on anyway. The lower control arms doesn't seem that difficult. The wheel bearing and housings does seem a little bit more difficult. So we'll have a crack at that and see how we go. So it's the day after the install. I spent an extraordinary amount of time yesterday doing the install. Unfortunately, this didn't make it onto the car. This is the hub carrier. A couple of complications here, mainly relating to just not having the right tools to do the job. So I didn't have a splitter tool here to split this section to pull the strut out, and ball joint remover as well I didn't have, and I didn't want to go bashing on parts of the car. The car's just too new, and this is all alloy. You don't want to go wailing on that with a hammer. So I'll order the tools, they're not that expensive, and we'll have a crack at that another day. I did, however, install the lower control arms. Wasn't that difficult. The most difficult part was probably relating to this. So what is this? This is a tool that the workshop manual actually refers to for the install for DSG cars only. If you've got a manual transmission car, you don't need this. This is used to separate the gearbox from the lower control arm so you can actually free a bolt. Otherwise, there's just not enough space. What you do, or what I did, it's what I think you do, is you put this side here, attach it to where the pendulum arm mount attaches to the engine, and then you attach this bit here. You remove the pendulum bolt and you insert this where it used to be, obviously with the pendulum arm actually removed, and then you twist this section here outwards to the desired length to get you the 85mm clearance. And there you go.
Daddy,
hello. So, on to the driving review. So how does she drive? That is the ultimate question after all. Was it worth it? Was it worth all the effort? Buying the bushes, buying the control arms, fitting them myself. How does it actually feel now that they're in the car? So this is my third drive of the car now. So I've had a little bit of time with it. And to be honest, I was a little apprehensive going into this as to actually, you know, what would I actually notice? How different would it feel? After all, I'm not putting in spherical bearings or some aftermarket poly bushes. They're OEM bushes, so I really wasn't sure what to expect. But I've got to say, I'm pleasantly surprised that my very first drive of the car, I immediately noticed a difference. It wasn't massive, but I immediately noticed that something was different. There was a different feel to the steering wheel. And now that I've been able to drive it a little bit more, I went and got the car a wheel alignment as well. I'm very pleased with the results. And if I go back to why I wanted to do this in the first place, because I think that's important in terms of how you perceive success. What was I trying to achieve in the first place? And it was really two things. It was number one, that whole driver engagement aspect. How do I make the car a little bit more raw without ruining it? And also, how do I increase the performance of the car as well? So is it worth it? Is it worth the money? Should you just go poly bushes instead? That I guess I can't answer because I haven't got poly bushes in the car. At a later date, I think that's probably a route I'm going to go eventually. But for what I set out to do here with these bushes, it's definitely a success, and I'd recommend it. Thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed watching this one as much as I enjoyed making it. It was great to actually do something to the car for a change instead of just talking. I'd really like to do more of this going forward. So let me know in the comments if there's any products or parts that you're really interested to know more about, or comparisons between different products. I'm really up for doing stuff like that. I think it'll be a lot of fun and really informative. So thanks again. Like and subscribe. As always, have fun in your cars and keep it on the black stuff. Cheers.